Hey, it's BT, and this is the BT Mazzano GP 2017 review in association with Sport Bikes Inc., the magazine I write my MotoGP reviews for. So anyway, let's get right down to it. Man, Mazzano, let me tell you something. Starting off the weekend, weather was beautiful. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to go to that race. I was going to try to sneak over, but it didn't work out. But I thought it was so beautiful, you know, on the Adriatic. Tomato. Anyway, on the coast, it was so beautiful. I was like, I should have gone. And then Sunday came. You're like, man, what the hell? It just all changed. Everything it did a 180. And rain is the great equalizer. It's like, okay, like if you're gonna fight somebody and they could beat you up, and you knew they could beat you up, but then you get a gun. You go, hey, what was that shit you said, tough guy? That's what rain is. Rain is the great equalizer. That brings out. I mean, people who are great in the wet can get points, get a higher placing than people who aren't so great in the wet, or people who are scared in the wet. And I give all these guys credit. Don't get me wrong. I give all these guys credit in the world. I can't do that. None of us can. That's why we're watching me review this race. Let's get right down to it. Moto 3. Let me tell you something. I think it was my 5th birthday party. No, it was my 5th birthday party. I got a whooping, but one time my mom didn't know where I was for 3 hours when I was a kid, and she thought I was dead or I got hit by a car or something on my bicycle, and she gave me the biggest whooping of my life, the biggest ass whooping of my life, which makes no sense. If you thought your son was dead and then he comes in alive, you go, I thought you were dead, and then she beats you within an inch of your life. That makes no sense at all. Why do I say this? Because Fenati gave an ass whooping to the rest of that field on a wet track. It was raining, and on a wet track, Fenati won by 29 seconds. You understand what I'm saying? 29 seconds. It's almost half the time I just posted. I'm at 2 minutes now. Think about that. 29 seconds ago. Anyway, you see what I'm saying? Fenati whooped. You got to give that guy credit. I mean, in a way, I still think Mir's going to win the championship. He is going to win the championship. There's no way in the world he's going to 61 points, 5 races left, and Mir is mentally prepared, so he's not going to lose the championship. But that had to put a dent in that guy's confidence just for a little bit. Fenati came out, and he whooped at, like I said, me getting a whooping by my mom, that whooping by my mom when I was, like, I guess, 8 years old, when she beat me within an inch of my life. That ass whooping, when I was 5 years old, my mom gave me a whooping at my own birthday party. That destroyed me mentally to this day. To this day, I still don't trust black women with red hair. And then I think that Fenati ass whooping on Sunday, that was wow. Incredible. Give it to Fenati. Let me tell you something, man. A couple mishaps here and there. I can't see it happening with Mir. But if Mir makes a couple mishaps, say he doesn't get a podium, maybe he slides out, who knows? Fenati might be back in this thing, man. Next year, watch out for Aaron Canet next year. That little Robert De Niro looking son of a bitch. He is a tough kid. Love him. This year, not so much. He's made too many mistakes, crucial mistakes at the wrong time. But watch out for Canet next year. Fabio Di Giannantonio next year. Watch out for that kid. Man, and Livio Loy. If you saw that Livio Loy wreck, oh my God, that was scary. I'm glad he just got away with a broken collarbone. That was one of the scariest wrecks I've ever seen in my life. One of the serious crashes I've ever seen in my life. I'm glad he just has a broken collarbone. He'll be okay. But Fenati, great race. Move on to Moto 2. Moto 2. Oh, is Morbidelli? Are those footsteps? Are those footsteps Morbidelli's hearing? Let me tell you something. That race was so bad conditions. Put it this way. Remy Gardner crashed twice, and he still got some points. That's how bad that race was. I mean, that's how treacherous it was. Those guys, man, I give them credit. Morbidelli, I mean, he crashed out. What can I say? It's hard to give him crap because, I mean, it was so bad and treacherous, but he did crash out. Maybe he's feeling a little pressure, man. You know, they say pressure makes diamonds or it makes you poop your pants. He's pooping his pants a little bit. I love Morbidelli. I still think he's going to take it, but you never know. 5 more races, and Luthi is on his ass. Great race by my buddy Dominica Gerter. The Swiss Mafia 1-2, great. And if you guys saw, I'm going to ruin his name, Hafi Sarin from Malaysia. If you saw his interview after the race, he literally was crying. He was so happy to his family, his country, his team. Man, I get choked. I got goosebumps just talking about it. That's how much emotion that guy has, and that's how much those guys love what they do. God bless that kid. Honestly, that's why you love motor racing, man. For anybody who's jaded with professional sports, watch Moto 3, Moto 2, even Moto GP. But GP is a little bit different because it's just a little bit different. It's a little more money and a little more politics, but man, the love of the game. Watch those Moto 2 guys. Beautiful. Anyway, Moto GP. Oh my God. Oh, that's why those guys are professionals. That's why those guys earn the big money. Man, let me tell you something. You're the whole race. You're on the edge. You see, like, it's like watching a 2-year-old. Your 2-year-old, not just any 2-year-old, but watching your 2-year-old, your kid, like run on like linoleum surface with wet feet. You're like, he's gonna bust his ass. And watching Marquez almost crash 2 or 3 times, and I thought Dovey was gonna pass him, and what he did, like he said in the interview, that was his greatest race ever, and he's had some great races. That may have been his greatest race ever for what he did, how he methodically just took his time, and knew when to pounce on Petrucci on a wet track. Oh my God! And then to tell his boys when he stuck his leg out, get my bike ready. Do you understand mentally? I mean, think about that. All those guys are professionals. All those guys. But what Marquez and his team, how close his team is, and how they are prepared for every little detail, it's unbelievable. It's mind-boggling how he told his team, he stuck his leg out like, hey, get my bike ready. This track is drying out. But not really. And that's what he did. And when he did that, everybody else said, Marquez is getting his bike ready. Let's get our bike ready. Except for Petrucci. Petrucci goes, this track ain't going to dry. Actually, he was like, this track ain't going to dry out. What's Marquez doing? I thought it was beautiful. Oh, my God. Poor Petrucci. I got to give it up to Danilo. Danilo did he threw the kitchen sink at Mark with a pair of monkey wrenches and pliers, and he still couldn't get the job done. And if you watch that post-race interview where Marquez is talking about what he did, go back and watch Petrucci's jaw. He's working it like this. See this? You can just tell he was just burning on the inside. Not so much at Mark, but himself. He wanted to win so bad. You got to love Petrucci, man. He wants to win so bad. But watch Petrucci, his jaw's working, and then look while Marquez is talking, Petrucci's jaw's working, and Marquez says something, and Dovey looked at Marquez and kind of looked over at Petrucci for a split second. Let me tell you something, man. It's beautiful. GP is better than it's ever been, and I thought last year was great. And here's the thing. Now, we all watched the race, so I'm not telling you something you don't know. But I thought it was interesting that Petrucci said he would help Dovey win the championship. He's not even his teammate. I mean, they're with Ducati, but, it's like I would help somebody, like, just because I'm African American, I'm gonna help another African American win a championship, and I don't even know that dude. Hey, you black, I'm black. I'm gonna help you win, brother. It's no. It's like they're on the same team, but they're not on the same team. And how he said he would help him win, and Lorenzo goes, I'm not helping him win. I need to win. Lorenzo said, I'm not helping Dovey win. I need to win. And Lorenzo went out like he went out like gangbusters, and he was setting his mapping, and he said he lost concentration. I know it's not funny, but he's like, okay, I got to, oh boy. And he went off. And give Lorenzo credit, he's still crashing like he did back in 2007, 8. Remember that big off he had in China? Yeah, he's still crashing like that. I felt so bad for Lorenzo. I really do. I don't say you guys can really make fun of him. I just feel you see that confidence just draining out of him. He's trying to be a team player. It's hard to watch. It's like watching one of your favorite boxers. Remember Mike Tyson? Say what you want about Mike Tyson, but in the end, when he was getting his ass whooped by like people off the street, like me, it'd be like if I fought Mike Tyson and I beat him up, you're like, poor Mike. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to see champions go out like that, and Lorenzo's taking an ass whooping. So it was hard to watch. But it's going to be interesting to see. Here's the question I pose you guys. I'm going to try to do this quick. Rossi comes back, say, after Aragon. Rossi comes back. Does Rossi help Dovey win the championship? If it's that close going into Valencia, does Rossi help Dovey win the championship, or does he help Vinales? And by help, I mean, like, runs interference on Marquez. That's what it's too, and I don't want to mention 2015. It's like the song, man, people want me to talk about the Rucker. Man, I don't want to talk about the Rucker. But you got to talk about it. 2015. You know what? They say life is a circle. Does it come back around on Marquez? 2015. We all know how ugly it got. Will that happen? If Rossi can be the spoiler, does he do that? Think about that, man. They both still hate each other. So, and speaking of that, I mean, does he help Dovey or Vinales win by running interference on Marquez? And also, like Marquez said, man, you can boo him on the podium, but don't boo him when somebody crashes. That's straight bullshit. It really is. These guys risk their lives, but and then to boo him on a crash. But the beautiful part was when Marquez blew kisses, like, that was beautiful. I mean, the mental game. You can't beat Marquez on the mental game. Honestly, Michael Jordan and Marc Marquez, mentally, you can't mess with those guys. Mentally. Anyway, this is going way too long, but I love this race. And this is me trying to edit this down from yesterday after the race. Anyway, I thought the racing was just okay. How long did it take that Moto 2 race to get over? I was like, I watched the Titanic twice. That's how long that race took. I watched Titanic twice. And then both times Jack didn't make it. That's how long that race was. It's going to be interesting coming down to the flyaways. First Aragon, then the flyaways. Man, MotoGP is great, even getting greater. Like I said, does Rossi play a part in this? Does he run interference on Marquez? It's going to be interesting. Let's get to Rider of the Race. Rider of the Race, Moto 3. You got to give it to Fenati. That ass whooping, oh my God. 29 seconds in the wet. Rider of the Race, Fenati. Rider of the Race in Moto 2, got to get to my buddy Dominique Agerter. Dominique, great job. He deserves it. After last year, he deserves it. On a Suter frame, too. God bless you, Dominique. And MotoGP, you got to give it to the man, Marc Marquez, for what he did. That guy is great, even getting greater. Give it to him. And also, I like to give a special recognition to Bradley Smith getting a top 10. Bradley's back is against the wall with KTM and what he did. Top 10 in the wet, treacherous conditions. Give it to him. Congratulations to him. I cannot wait for Aragon. It's going to be great. I think that's about it. Before I go, I'd just like to say, Marc Marquez, fastest lap of the race on the last lap. That's how great he was. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Look for me on Instagram, Funnyman6869, Funnyman6869, my YouTube channel. Duh, you're watching it now. Funnyman6869. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. MotoGP's great, even getting greater. Tell me what you think, man. You think Rossi runs interference? You think? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Until then, you know the word. You know the word.